Okay, we are just about to go live. When I see the button go green, that means we are starting, and we are on live. Here we go, everybody. It's me, Scott Ackerman. This is the Life Advice Live Show. I'm your host, Scott Ackerman. I just like to hear my name over and over again. Um, I'm joking. Okay, so we've had a ton of stuff come in today. A ton of emails come in today. Of course, they're mostly about the Japan Life Advice Live Japan trip application. I say trip, but really, I mean, you're paying for your own plane ticket, so really, is that a trip? It's not. What's up, Jade? What's up, Sigalinda? What's up, Omena? Hello, how you doing? Let me just wait a little bit for people to sign on. I think we're a little bit earlier than usual. Maybe we usually sign on about 11 o'clock here in Japan. But today it's 10:26, so just a tad earlier. Might not have as many people signed on. That's okay. That's all right. The main thing is just to knock this out now and make sure we answer some questions. All right. Kane's on. How's it going? Phil, how's it going? Tizawoot, hello again. All right, Ida, you're back on. Good to see you. Arch Vagabond, how you doing? I am J Squared. Nice to see you here. I notice a few of these names. Oh, it's blocked by your country to donate $1. That's okay. Don't worry about it. This is all. If people donate, awesome. I am super stoked. If they just sit there and watch, I'm also very stoked. That's just fine. I'm busy as a bee, just stopping by for a second. That's okay. Life comes first. Don't worry about it. Shadow Gaming Vlogs, how's it going? Thank you for signing on. Reinhardt or Die trying. How's the 14K response going? I am very far behind. I will say, between me and my staff, we got through almost 2,000 yesterday, and I literally worked through a migraine to do that, and it was hell. I was like literally throwing. I have like these like play kind of futons for kids to jump on, to bounce on when they're jumping up and down at my school. I threw it on the floor and like laid down on that and just kind of. I took. Do I have these patches here with me? Are they in my back pocket? I have these like muscle heat patches, and I threw one of them over one eyeball. Like, so I look like I had like a patch over one eyeball, like a pirate, and I just wrote people back. Dark Somnium, what's up, dude? How's it going? That's so cool. You're signed on to mine. I've gone on to your streams before too. Rodney Jones, how's it going? Yeah, guys, if you want to check out some super sick creepy readings, creepy stories, scary pasta. I just made up a new genre right there. Creepy pasta. Check out Dark Somnium. I am J Squared. Thank you so much, dude. You rock, man. Oh, man, that's awesome. I never, ever expect donations, but would I get them? Oh, man. I need help. Okay, Shadow Gaming's up first. Shadow Gaming, what do you got for us, bud? Let us hear what you're dealing with. We're going to wait for a couple more people to sign on, but during that time, go ahead and throw your problem our way. And guys, just so you know, we have a little bit of a delay. And just to let me go through my disclaimer real quick before we totally get into it. We're a show that just simply deals with life advice problems that are not usually too over the top. We deal with depression, but we do not deal with clinical depression. We deal with dark thoughts, but we won't go as far as like suicide. But we do have moderators with hotlines standing by who can give you any numbers or resources that you would need for any kind of emergency situation like that. This isn't the place to go for emergency psychological situations. That's hotlines. But we are here to solve your everyday problems, and we may not always have the answer, but we're always willing to listen. All right. So what do you got, buddy? I need help with Launchpad. Is this a video game or something like that? I would donate if I had money. That's okay, Dark Somnium. Don't even worry about it. Bye, guys. Gotta go. See you, Ida. All right. What is a launchpad? I don't even know what a launchpad is. I'm thinking like Launchpad McQuack from DuckTales. So, are you serious? Is this really actually music? Okay. Is it? we mostly just deal with personal problems, like as in personal, like social, psychological, communication, disposition, ethos, pathos. It's a music program. Okay, let me walk you through a tutorial on Launchpad. Then, is it like Vegas or like Sony Pro Asset? I can teach you how to cut and paste different tracks if you want. Our session today can be about me giving you technical help on that instead. I use Launchpad for my... Oh, okay. Actually, I know what Launchpad is now. That's the way you usually stream from your phone on Launchpad, right? Hey, Lucid... I always get this mixed up. Lucifer? Can I just say Lucifer? All right. I kind of have a problem, one of a few. Well, Sigalinda, let's hear it. And if it's software related, I'm gonna have to send you to some kind of tech hotline. All right. Audacity tutorial, please. Audacity. Oh my god. All right. Oh, okay. The previous ones Jen sent me, you don't happen to have any of those copied and pasted, do you, Jade? That would help out a ton. If you've seen any of my streams, the Launchpad is it's the board that you have set up to make active sound effects while I narrate. Oh, that's cool, man. I need more sex. Well, I think you know how to take care of that. All right. What you need to do, Mike, is give either your left or right hand a rest for a while and go outside your house. All right. What else have we got? So Jade, if you got the other problems that Jen listed before, that's okay. I'm gonna go. I know some people posted some stuff on Facebook. You know what the biggest problem with Facebook is when people are trying to post stuff on my wall, because I just have it on a small screen, the messages people type block what I'm trying to see on my wall, and I'm sure there's probably a way around it, but I don't know how. Like somebody's got something posted there and all the messages have it blocked out. All right. Let's see. All right, sorry, I'll get back on stream. Sorry, I let everybody go for a second. What about the thing I messaged you about on FB? Okay. Can you say it right? Because it's hard for me to go back in between FB and stream and OBS. Sorry, I got too many windows open. You just don't are you okay to post it in here? Facebook just sucks in general. Yeah, Facebook has got the worst messaging system. I've got to use it because otherwise a lot of people won't be able to contact me. Like actually a lot of my contacts via YouTube contact me via Facebook and Twitter. But the messaging system is so bad, dude. It's the worst. I know. Yeah, I knew it was Nicole. I just know because of the hair. I got sick. Okay, Sigalinda. I got sick some time ago, got a psychotic episode, and didn't talk for 3 months. I'm still recovering from it, and it made me really scared of a lot of things, including people. I have a hard time overcoming that fear and assimilating back. So during that time when you had a psychotic break due to the illness you had, and I realized this can happen for multiple reasons. I'm not going to get into the personal issues that you had as far as like what kind of infection it might have been. Like I know sometimes, and this is like no joking at all, like sometimes like brain infections can make this happen. Sometimes even people can have bad reactions to food that they didn't know they had an allergy, and it drives them so nuts because they get into such a state as far as like over the top pain or even joint pain. For example, if you have a thyroid based food allergy, that means your body just took in a nutrient that your thyroid can't process, and you have like this insane reaction to it. That's not the person's fault. That's like literally like, you know, you just put applesauce in the DVD holder of your computer. It broke because you did something like that. It's not the computer's fault, right? Okay. So during that time when you had this break, obviously from what you're describing to me, it sounds like people withdrew from you. Have any of those people come back That's the big question. Did any of the people stick with you after this break? And the reason I'm asking this, you can answer whenever there's a delay, so I'm going to get a late answer. But the main reason I ask this is because although I'm sure it was very traumatic and very difficult to get through that psychotic break and to get through that dip in, I guess, your stability, not just like health-wise, but also mentally and I guess socially, since you lost friends and communication during this time. If people stuck with you, anyone who stuck with you through that, those are now who your true friends and family are. Like, even though this has been most likely a very negative experience for you, the positive aspect of it is when you got out on the other side, you now have a very clear picture of who your true friends and family are, like who will stick with you through thick and thin, who is not just a fair weather friend or a fair weather family member. So first of all, that's something you should take into account, especially if like you're still in a dark place right now and still kind of reeling from what you just went through, which I imagine you most likely are if you're writing about it here. Most did. Okay, so that's kind of good. It's kind of a shaving of the people you don't need in your life. And, maybe later some of those people will come back and be like, look, I'm sorry I broke away from you during that time. I was a little freaked out. I had some of my own issues at the same time too. I didn't know how to handle it. I wasn't mature enough to handle it. Take them back if they come back later and apologize for leaving you during that time. Maybe they just weren't in the right way either, or maybe they were dealing with their own battles and stuff. If somebody comes back to you later after and says, I'm really sorry I wasn't there for you, they honestly deeply feel sorry that they weren't there for you most of the times. I mean, there's some scammers out there who are just like, oh, you're a good friend now. I heard you just won the lottery, and then they come back to you. That's a little bit different. But what I would do is be even more communicative with the people who stuck with you. Grow closer to them. Those are now your true friends. They have 100% taken down all their guard and shown that they are sticking with you through thick and thin. And those are awesome people. Those are the people you really need to pay your respects to now. Grow closer to them. Stick with them too. And also, when you're feeling better and you're not in a dark place, make sure you're there for them should something ever happen to them. And it could be anything, like they lose a loved one. They go through their own psychotic break. They get very ill. It's time for you to be there for them. Return that, reciprocate that, and find out just how lucky you are that they stuck with you. If you do the same for them, the best gift that you get from that is you find out how lucky you are that you have a person like that in your life because you just did what they did. And you're like, wow, this feels really good. They felt really good after they did this, and they did it because their main reason was their altruism for me. And on top of that, you now have a chance to go out and kind of completely reboot, to completely reformat your friendships. This is a chance for you to go out and find the real people in your life. And I feel like if you start to grow close to somebody new who's a new friend, you guys are hanging out a bunch, you're talking, you're starting to get to know each other, and they're like, hey, why you seem like a little bit lonely, or maybe you don't have a ton of friends around, or you seem kind of cut off right now, like what's going on? Don't be afraid to tell them your story. I feel like, as long as you've grown close enough, don't just go up to random strangers on the street and tell them this kind of stuff. But if you start to grow close to somebody and you're worried about that being some sort of red tape that they will never ever be able to get through to continue to be your friend, then come right out with it once your friendship has started to grow close and see how they judge it and find out if they're a real person too. And I can completely understand that you would be scared by what happened to you. There was a time in my own life, I'm going to use one of my own experiences, I dealt with this disease. I don't know if you'd call it a disease or a syndrome or what. It was called vasovagal syncope. And what had happened was I had trained for a marathon, and because of this, my heart rate had dropped very low. My blood pressure was incredibly low. I hadn't eaten properly or taken proper nutrients and vitamins during the time that I was training. I actually overtrained. And afterwards, I got this horrible thing called vasovagal syncope. And what vasovagal syncope will do is you can just randomly faint at any time through the day. It's horrible. It's not like a panic attack where you start to get upset and then you could possibly faint. It's just like you might be standing there and suddenly you don't have any more blood in your head and you're down on the floor. You wake up like on the floor. You don't know how you got down there, and you're just like, what's going on? That was scary. That was super scary. And I remember thinking afterwards that I was always in a panic that was going to happen. So on top of also being a person who could suddenly faint, I also would also suddenly faint from the panic attacks I would get from knowing that I would suddenly faint. It was horrible. It was this like vicious cycle. So if you're feeling like something like that right now too, what I would highly suggest is meditation needs to become part of either like a morning or afternoon or nighttime ritual. There needs to be a time through the day where you settle yourself, especially if you can do it during the times where you're starting to get worked up the most. You need to settle that mind. Our minds are crazy. They are a chipmunk running around in a wheel with kids screaming on both sides. That's how our minds work. They want to process. And one of the scariest things that our minds do during times when we're kind of reflecting on something bad that just happens is they begin to create these false scenarios that are kind of like mini movies that play out in our mind of this same thing happening again in another bad situation. The thing you need to know about that is almost everybody in the world does this. And everybody in the world is constantly playing through a lot of the same bad situations happening again. Now, some people are doing it because they think it'll help them avoid it. Some people are doing it because they're afraid it's going to happen again. And some people do it out of just pure depression. They're just in such a dark place they can't get those repeating memories out of their head, or those fake scenarios out of their head. These are the times you need to stop. You need to take a breath. You need to take your mind off of this, and you need to get something pouring into it that stops this crazy noise. All right, I say crazy noise, but this is typical. This is something we all have going through our head, dark scenarios playing out over and over again. And the way for me to do that, because I deal with this too, is usually while I'm doing one thing that doesn't take a lot of brain power. So for example, cleaning, I don't know what else, packing my kids' clothes for the next day of school, getting my own clothes ready for the week, simple chores around the house. Either number one, I'll have some sort of reflective book, or how else? Music. Yeah, music's good too. Binaural beats. I don't usually use ASMR because it'll make me too sleepy. I'll start to fall asleep standing up if I put that stuff on. But something that'll distract me. Because obviously you can't meditate if you're walking around the house doing chores. You can kind of meditate on the moment. If you're able to do that, that takes a lot of practice. Some people meditate in the moment. That means they exist in the now. If you're able to do that, look into that more. Daily meditation or daily practicing of meditating in the now. Too many of us live in these future scenarios, or we get depressed about past scenarios. So I highly suggest doing that. If you cannot do the meditation at the time where it's like a relaxed morning or a calm afternoon lunch break, or finally before you're just about to go to bed, then at least stop that noise in your head by listening to something else that's inspirational. Don't let all that dark stuff keep playing over and over and over in your head. That's what will make you the most scared, the most depressed, and kind of keep you in this vicious cycle of your mind constantly attacking itself, pretty much. Hope that helps. Just hang in there. A lot of times with breakdowns and tragedies and illnesses and really social or community fears that we go through, the only medicine is time. It really is. Got to find the pause button for your brain. So true, Cutie Fly. So true. Let me say hi to a couple more people who signed on. Silent Hill, welcome back. Cutie Fly, welcome back. Travis Dean, hi again. Mint Cola. Mint Cola sounds delicious. My long-distance boyfriend hasn't replied to me in 2 days. How long should I wait before moving on? 2 days? Whoa, slow down. Give the guy a break. How far away does he live? I've dealt with. Say hi. You are all Sudoku. Sudoku is a number puzzle, Banana Hammer. You mean seppuku? Okay, how's it going, Banana Hammer? Hi, Jilly D's back on. Yay! All right. Mr. Boo, welcome back. Okay, sorry, I gotta get back to this question. You're cracking me up, dude. I'm just thinking of you doing number puzzles till you die. Mint Cola, I'm taking your question serious here. My long-distance boyfriend hasn't replied to me in 2 days. How long should I wait before moving on? Okay, so number one, 2 days really isn't that long. I know I myself have like a ton going on. I don't know how busy his life is, so this is kind of hard to make a judgment call on this. If he has like even one full-time job, I mean, 2 days might not be that much because sometimes you just come home beat. Again, also, I don't know how your schedule is. If you have a very open and free schedule, it can seem like 2 days is a lot of time. I remember when I was in college and I had 48 hours without class and all my homework or my projects were finished, 48 hours seemed like a big old chunk of time for me to do just about anything I want. And yes, sometimes when I had a significant other, it felt like I was waiting for them. When really, people's lives are busy. There's a lot going on. I would say, if you've only sent him one message and it's been 48 hours, you can definitely already send a follow-up message. Okay? My rule of thumb is always 3. If they don't reply within 3, and you check to make sure it's not an emergency too, then yeah, it's maybe time to think maybe they don't see this as important as I do. Now later, if they call and they have a really good excuse, I was broken down in the middle of the desert and I had to wander home for 3 days, okay, we need to give that person a break. We don't know their total situation. I wouldn't continue to pester. I say pester, but you're not necessarily pestering. That's too harsh of a word to use. I wouldn't necessarily continue to send messages. I would send at most 2 more. And in between those messages, I'd wait as much as 12 hours if you could. I know when you get into a relationship at the beginning, your heart is aflutter, and sometimes you think you've really found somebody super special. And maybe you have. I really don't know. I'd need to know a lot more about the situation to analyze it better. But I would say respond one more time after, I guess it's probably been a while already. You said, 2 days now since the last time you messaged? Message again. That's okay. Just say, hey, just checking in. The biggest thing is never say anything aggressive or over the top. You will regret it later. Because you may find out they were in a bad situation. Maybe they got in an accident. Maybe they got depressed. Maybe their job fired them and they didn't want to talk to anybody for a couple days. And you were like, why don't you care about me? I hate you. And then later you find out, oh, because you got fired and you locked yourself in your room. I'm an asshole. So I would just take it amicably and say, hey, just checking in one more time, making sure everything's okay. No rush to reply. If you're super busy, just let me know and I won't bother you for a while. 12 hours after that, be like, okay, just one last heads up, just trying to reach you. I'll leave it up to you to make a response later, and that's it. And don't go beyond that. If he never makes a response after that third one, maybe it is over. Who knows? You don't know. If within that you don't get another message or call or talk for a week, just let it go. Just let it go. You most likely have a lot more fish in the sea out there. It sounds like more of a college dating situation. It might not be. I don't know. Maybe this is an adult situation. Well, I guess you are an adult if you're in college, but I never felt like an adult when I was in college. Just see how it plays out. Just give it a chance. And know that if it does reach a point where he just does never respond, maybe it wouldn't be crazy if you check in with a friend and say, hey, I haven't gotten a response. Is he okay? And if a friend says, yeah, he's fine. He's just kind of, being a jerk or not talking to anybody or something. If it's something like that, be like, oh, okay. At least thank you for telling me. Thank the friend. Be like, well, just let him know. Don't worry about responding. Because obviously he's not worth your time then if he does that too long. But we don't know that. We don't want to assume too much. Dude might just be busy. Okay. You're giving advice? Oh, I got time for this. So, Ty, you going to ask something, bud? Oh, Steam Gacked, you sent me some stuff. How would you get over toxic relatives, namely family members? There's a really easy way to get over toxic family members. You completely cut them out of your life. And I'm there is usually no helping somebody who's very toxic, whether that be like toxic anger or like just toxic lashing out or always talking trash. If there's a person like that within your family, and I think we probably all have one, don't we? Anybody who has even a slightly large, family with like uncles and aunts and cousins and et cetera, et cetera. There's probably at least, I don't want to say a crazy person, but there's a disruptive person in the bunch. There's always that guy or that girl, or that in between. And you got to cut them out of your life. I'm sorry, like even if it's like your mom or your dad, they need to heal themselves first. I know, and I realize that sometimes the reason we don't want to let go is, number one, either we have fond memories of that relative. In the past, that relative may not have been toxic and helped us out quite a bit. Or in the past, that relative may have been like a guiding light for us or some sort of beacon of hope or gotten us through a rough time. But people change. And sadly, people change for the good. But sadly, sometimes people really change for the bad. And hold on just a second, Alan. I'll answer your question a bit. Alan, go ahead and copy your question so that you can paste it later so I can answer it later. But let me get back to this. So when they reach a point of becoming toxic, that means obviously they've taken a turn for the worst. And if this has happened, this is almost always 100% of the time a situation where they need to heal themselves first. There is almost nothing you're going to say to a toxic person that's going to make them take a introspective look at themselves and be like, gosh, you know what? I really am being very toxic to everyone I meet. Usually what the problem is they're so deep into their own toxicity, into marinating in their own horrible mood, that they don't want to take the time. Or some of them have fallen in love with their own super bad mood. They eat up, they devour a good argument or a good lashing out at somebody or a good trash talk. And these are people who they themselves have some sort of ultra deficiency in either self-esteem, self-motivation, self-worth, priorities in life, or goals in life. Something or someone they feel has wronged them. And whether it really be someone outside of their own devices or it be them themselves, that's not something they want to confront, and rather can confront this very frustrating situation of whatever hurt them or stopped them or didn't allow them to achieve their goals, which it could be even themselves. They in turn morph that entire emotion into constant anger, constant toxicity, constant lashing out, and that's something only they can fix. So my advice: cut them loose for a while. Give them some time to heal themselves. They have to a person who is lashing out at everyone, who is constantly talking trash about everyone, who is constantly just doing things that anger everyone around them and burning bridges, they need to burn every last bridge until they are lonely and on a rock, okay, in the middle of the ocean, and they have zero friends. And that's where they're going to finally say, what the hell did I do? Why am I so lonely? Why does nobody want to talk to me? And then even if they want to be angry at the world, they have nobody in the world to talk to. And they have to say, wow, I need to start building bridges again. I need to start reconnecting again. How do I do that? Maybe I need to stop being the old me. All right. And that's a process only they're going to get through. You're not going to be able to help them to do that. All you'll do is end up getting hurt trying to touch them with some sort of rationality. Scott went rogue. Sorry about that. Yeah, I went off on a big tangent. My friend makes fun of my height, and I don't know how to get him to stop. All right, give me 1 second, bud. He doesn't sound like a friend if he's doing that. All right. Give me 1 second. I want to answer Alan's question too. Alan asked, all right, Alan, is it possible for a gaijin like me to become native level in Japanese? Alan, if I'm correct, don't you have a channel in which you master like multiple languages? You seem like you're a cunning linguist. You guys see what I did there? You got that? Got that? You like that joke? It was puntastic. Alan, you seem to be pretty efficient at learning languages. So here's the thing that the advantage like someone like you has over, I don't know, say an American like me who's born with one language in his head. Because we are only born with one language most times in America, like whitey in America is usually only born with English. Let's be 100% honest here, guys. And we've never had to learn another language. Well, that's okay and all because English is the language of America. It's not American, sorry. And so we just use that all the time, and we don't worry about learning a second language. Yeah, we go to school and we are taught by teachers who don't always seem as interested as maybe they should, or excited, or don't teach it in a way that really gets it across to us. And we never really put much effort into learning that language beyond just trying to get a grade on a test or finish our homework. When you are forced to, a lot of things change. The first time you ever end up having to go to the hospital in Japan, you will find out you suddenly need to use every little bit of caveman Japanese that you have, okay? The first time you get into a very desperate situation, you need to buy your first apartment by yourself. You need to get your first car by yourself. You need to get something that lets you continue to live your life in a proper way. You will desperately try to use every bit of Japanese that you have, okay? On top of that, like I said, you have kind of a gift for languages, Alan, and one of those aspects of those gifts is that you have already learned the building blocks to build a language in your head. I don't think a lot of people realize this. There is a method to building a language in your head, and everybody's got a different method, okay? Some people memorize a ton of words. Some people are great with pronunciation but can barely say many things at all. Some people are awesome with putting together the grammar of a sentence and following the rules of grammar. I myself, I suck at grammar rules. I'm really bad. I'm probably even really bad in English too. Although I have tried to memorize quite a few because I am an English teacher. So I'm really bad with my grammar in Japanese. I can memorize a lot of words. I can tell you, I'll hit you in the fucking head in Japanese, but it's going to also sound like number one, like I have a horrible accent. Like I'd be like, I'm hit you in the head. Like when I talk, that's how I sound. I have a really bad accent. I have a really thick American accent. So for me, that's my strength, is I can memorize a lot of words, and that's how I learn. I like to just learn words. I like to use a lot of big words in English too, all right? Do you know what brobdignagian is? Do you know what defenestration is? Do you know what the fear of triskaidekaphobia is? I do. I love big words. So words are my thing. So whatever your strength in the building blocks department of a language is, focus on that first. Then when you have time, put effort into the other aspects you're not as good at. Armando the Wanderer, $2. Thank you so much. You're the best, brah. Okay, sorry. I hope that was a good enough shout out. You're too nice. Well, now, Alan, you have a gift for learning languages. Your channel's based around that. So use those building blocks that you have already used to build the other languages in your head. And do the same thing again with Japanese. I think, quite frankly, you'll be one of the people who ends up learning it fluently like in 2 years or 1 year. And everyone will be like, how'd you learn it so fast? Your Japanese will probably be better than my Japanese in 1 year, I bet. I would bet money on it. All right. Let's see. Okay, sorry. Oh, yeah, I wrote down the other one. Okay, Daniel was next, and Daniel said that his friend is constantly trash talking him and telling him he's short. Let me just tell you right there, Daniel. That's not a friend. A little bit of joshing between bros is okay. Jenny, thank you for the $2 donation, and Jilly, thank you for the $2 donation. Oh man, you guys are the best. Okay. So, dealing with friends who are talking trash. So we can josh amongst each other. When I say josh, I mean like kid each other. We can joke it. Armando again, $2. I think you can do better. Just kidding. I love it. Great jokes. I'm gonna laugh at anybody's joke who donates money. When a person is talking trash to each other as far as friends are concerned, usually what we do is we use some inside jokes, and maybe your friend thinks that this is an inside joke. Okay, oh, you're short, haha, because I know you. And if you've already made this very apparent that this is not funny to you, that this is starting to hurt you, and they continue to do this, then this is not a friend. Okay, this is somebody who's just mean and evil spirited and quite frankly doesn't care about your emotions. And that is not a friend right there. Or at least if that is your friend right now, that's not a friend you want to have. I think, sometimes people do get confused with how much they can push the envelope as far as joking with each other. But for me personally, let me give you an example, okay? I worked at an office once where, oh, dude, Devin, $5 donation, you rock, man. I worked at an office once where there was this one guy, Troy. I'm kind of changing the name, so don't worry, nobody's getting exposed. There was a guy named Troy. He would just use foul language with everybody. He would just use the most foul language ever. And he was the big boss. He was like the main head manager, so we couldn't really say like, hey, Troy, can you not like call me shithead, or can you not call, like, he was really foul. And there was this awesome dude came in one day, David. Jimmy, thank you so much, man. Wow, what is going on with donations today? This is insane. This is amazing. There was this guy, David, who came in one day who just wasn't having it. And in the middle of the meeting that he gave, I forget exactly. It was something about some other company he wanted our company to buy into. And he's like, if we don't do this, we're going to lose the opportunity. And Troy stood up and he's like, anybody who buys in that company is a pussy. He just said it real loud in front of everybody. And everybody's just kind of silent. It's awkward. No one says, hey, Troy, that wasn't cool, because Troy's the main manager. So what David does is David says, hey, Troy, let me just talk to you for a second. Where I come from, if someone called another person a pussy, that would lead to a fight right here. Like, they would have a throwdown right here, right now. And that's something I do not want to do, because we are a professional business. So I would really prefer if you don't use that around me or call me that ever again. Okay? And Troy was just kind of like, he was just like, the needle came off the record for this man. What? And everybody just kind of looked at him like, oh, Troy, you just got told, son. Okay? So Troy shut up after that. Troy didn't use foul language anymore. And that was David's like second day at the job. You need to make very clear what your limits are on that person making fun of you. The next time he calls you short, say, hey, buddy, like, I understand it's kind of a funny joke between you and me, but it's starting to reach a point where, quite frankly, it's ruining my day. Like, or it's ruining the time that I'm spending with you. And I'd like to enjoy it. I'd like to have a good time with you. And every time you stop the conversation to do dude, $10. Oh my God. You're the best, bro. Well, 10 pounds. I don't know how much is that? I don't even know how much that is. I have no exchange rate going in my head. That's like $15, right? That's good, dude. That's like $20 or something. I don't know. Sorry. I'm getting too excited. I got to stay focused. You got to say, look, man, I like our friendship. I treasure our friendship. I think we got, a good thing going, but this can't continue if you're going to keep doing this to me. Armando, again, what's going on? You guys are blowing me away. And if after you've made yourself very clear, I'm not going to stand for this and I can't enjoy our friendship this way. If your friend continues to do that, the dude is not your friend. The dude is not your friend. He's not worth your time. Dude, Jenny, oh my gosh. Are people trying to outdo each other today? What's going on? My stream is blowing up. Oh my goodness. And that's really how I feel. There is a lot of friends, guys. There is a lot of friends you will make that maybe you've even had them since you were a little kid in kindergarten. You're going to grow apart. I'm sorry. It's just true. My best friend from when I was a little kid, Bill Shaw, we had like pretty much movie-esque type little friendship. $2 again from Devin. Thank you so much. We played in the fields of my lawn, which were like giant fields. And, we hung out, made up stories together, fantasy worlds that we imagined. Another 2 from Devin. Oh, my God. And he moved away to Georgia, and we met up again later. And we tried to still be friends after a long time away. And he was really into ice hockey. And I had become, like, the gothic underlord of my school, wearing black trench coats. And this is way before, like, black trench coats even happened. I was listening to, like, Skinny Puppy and, oh, man, another $2 is awesome. I was listening to, like, Skinny Puppy and, like, Marilyn Manson and stuff. And he was into, like, ice hockey, and he, like, wore those big ice hockey jerseys. We were totally different people. We were not into anything the same. We had nothing to relate to. We had a good time as friends, as little kids. It was awesome. We had a really good time. Now we had grown into totally different people. There was nothing we connected on. Our friendship was very awkward when we met up again. You know, he's still a nice guy. There's nothing wrong with Bill. He's awesome. And he's having a great time pursuing his hobby of ice hockey. And I'm still the gothic underlord. Just, we just went very different ways. It's going to happen, man. It's going to happen. Just let it go. There's so many people out there to meet, especially now with the internet. Find your niche friend on the internet. Oh my gosh. Mint Cola $10. Holy smokes. I don't know if I gave out $10 advice, but thank you. You're the best, man. Opposites can attract. Opposites can most definitely attract. Guys, let me just tell you something. When it comes to relationships, especially if you're an artist like me, you better find yourself a damn opposite. Because let me just tell you, artist with an artist, you are going to be one chaotic couple. Okay, that's all I got to say about that. All right. Silent Hill, I just want to know what the process was like to get a spouse visa because my girlfriend and I are getting married. Okay, I can walk you through that. So if you come to Japan, you're going to get the spouse visa. I'm going to tell you from the perspective of American because they kind of all change and stuff depending on what you're doing. So with America, you have to go to your embassy while you are in Japan. Or I think you can get this while you're in America too. I think you'd go to your local ward office in America, or I guess that's usually the post office, and you need to prove that you don't have any outstanding marriages or any child support. You're pretty much proving that you didn't run to Japan to escape a marriage. Not saying running to Japan is escaping your marriage. If you got properly divorced and you have your alimony or child support paid, you're okay, and you'll go past clear. But there are cases in the past of people who have run from a loved one who have, well, I don't know if you're a loved one, if you're running from they've run from someone they've been married to or paying child support or paying alimony, and they came to Japan to get married, and they put a stop to that. So really, you've got a pretty easy job. You've just got to prove you haven't been married, or if you have been married, that it was dissolved. With her, she's going to have to go to the ward office, and she's going to have to do almost the exact same thing, except she needs a lot more papers that only she will understand. You can't really help her with that, but she needs to go to her local ward office, and she needs to choose if she's going to take your last name or you're going to take her last name, or if you're going to do a combination. I will say usually it's easier for her to take your last name. Okay. Okay, sorry. Okay, go ahead, Jade. Repost whatever it is. Repost the question. Yeah, it's simple for Americans in Japan. Now, if it was vice versa, it would be much more difficult. I've come a long way from the mop top. Yes, well, I'm running a business now. I'd still love to have the long hair, but I can't be like that. Okay, let's see. I spent the night watching videos about J-Vlog Rama. I don't know how to explain. Okay, hold on. Let me read Mr. Boots. The hater comment warriors was toxic. That's pretty much YouTube in general, though. I mean, even now with the thing I'm doing now, people are like, you're a shyster trying to sell fake dreams. And it's like, well, actually, with sending people to Japan, it's totally free. So to be a shyster, you actually have to be selling a product. Let's see. How good are Japanese engineers in the global market? I'm from Argentina. So Japanese engineers are known to be some of the best. What their biggest problem is most can't speak English. Thank you for your help, man. You're the best. No, you're the best, Squid. I wish you the best of luck on your journey over here, man. So you can, if you do the donation on here, you just hit that $sign next to the face. But you can also do Patreon too. Anyone's okay. Again though, you don't have to. You don't have to. It's all right. Let me take a look. Oh yeah, and Squid, if you want to be in Super Chat, let me know. I'll give you Super Chat access. Some people don't want to be mods, I know, but whatevs. It's okay. Okay, so I would kind of want to, while we're waiting for whatever question. Okay, Scott, I'm trying to get through college for graphic communication art. Any recommendation on compiling a portfolio? currently working and struggling in a not so great tiny town? Well, first of all, have you thought about hiring someone to put your portfolio together for you? There are people who specialize that, and usually they are TAs at your school. I myself, when I put my portfolio together to go to a terminal degree in Austin, Texas to get my follow-up, I paid a guy to put together what he thought were my best pieces because it's a better objective look at what you've done. You yourself, you know what you love, you know what you like, and that may be totally true to you, but as far as a judge is concerned, it's very different as far as opinion, and I would hire someone who's good at compiling. And usually a TA in your art department can do that. Sometimes, if you're really lucky, a professor will do it, but I mean, you may have to pay top dollar. Their time's worth money. Does the concept of friends with benefit exist in Japan? I have a feeling no, of course. No, I mean, I feel like too many people imagine dating in Japan is a very foreign aspect. I would say marriage in Japan is very different in the aspect of, is it an Eastern or Western style marriage? But dating isn't really too different than any other country. I mean, there's wild guys, there's wild girls in the middle of the dating scene. There's, girls looking just to have a one-night fling, and there's guys looking to just have a one-night fling. Yes, there's gaijin hunters on both sides. It exists. Anything you've dealt with within your own country most likely exists here. It may have a bit of an Eastern touch, but really you don't see a dichotomy of lifestyle until you reach marriage. All right. Whoa, $10 donation by Michelle, you rock. Yeah, if you can't donate, don't worry about it. I'm just here to, honestly, quite frankly, I'm going to tell you, I just really kind of enjoy doing this show. It feels amazing. Dude, Squid 5. Oh my god, dude, my stream today. This is nuts. Holy smokes, man. I never check like how much total has been donated. I never do that because I feel like that's greed at work. But this is by far my most profitable stream. It's insane. It's blowing my mind right now. Okay, so is there any questions that I missed while I'm getting on with the rest of this? Oh, okay. So you want? Okay. So am I tackling the question about hate speech and drama in the J-vlog scene? Why I got away from all that? This is a touchy subject. All right. Let me get back up to that question fully, and try to answer this. Okay. Do you have any idea why this is happening? Okay. Wait. I missed the first part. Hold on. Okay. Here we go. Let me read this. I spent the night watching videos about J-vlogging drama. I don't know how to explain it. It turned into a freaking angry/hater comment war. It was toxic. Do you have any idea why this happened? Why did I feel involved in something so ridiculous? And I know it to be. I know, weird question. Okay. Okay, you know what? Let me arrow down to the bottom. Make sure I don't miss anybody asking questions at the same time, and then let me dig into this one. This is going to be a very touchy one. Do you and your wife speak English or Japanese? Both. We always do both. I bet I missed the whole thing. Okay, here we go. We're going to jump into this one. This one's a heavy topic. I might have to end on this one. All right, hold on. I'll get back to these two. So I'll get back to yours, Alan. Don't worry. Okay, so there's so much that goes behind the scenes with almost any YouTube community. That's one thing I want everybody to realize. Like, there's way more than what you see. I think one aspect a lot of people don't totally understand, and this is not like anybody's fault. We put ourselves out there, is that we're giving you just snippets of ourselves. We're giving you anywhere from 5 minutes to, 1 hour if it's a stream like this, of what we act like. And what we act like on camera is totally different than our real life. Dude, $2 donation from Armando. Hey, Scott, did you ever see yourself doing this? Answering people's questions? Well, kinda. I used to do it via text. Purple Drain, $5 here, free money. So true, Purple Drain. The problem you deal with behind the scenes stuff is there's a lot of infighting that goes on. And you've got to realize now YouTube is very different than when it started. Before, when YouTube started, YouTube was about people being just excited. They could put stuff on the internet like, whoa, I recorded a video and people are watching it. That's insane. Like, that was the big thing. That was it. That's why we were excited. And so, number one, our quality wasn't very good just because of the technology at the time. Upload speeds, camera quality, etc., etc. Now the new thing is a whole new generation that's watched the past generation do this, learned how to do it even better, because I'm going to straight out come out and say it that this next generation of YouTubers, far better than us. Far, far, far better than us. They are some talented little mofos. Yeah, and it's amazing to see. I root it on every way. I wish everybody the best who makes a channel. I always encourage people to make a channel. I think it is a huge boost to your confidence to make a channel. But now everybody's a brand. That's the hardest part. Everybody's a brand. I mean, even look at me. I'm a brand. All right. I've got this whole Life Advice Live thing. Mind you, it's like a non-for-profit. I'm not trying to get money out of people to do it, but for me, I enjoy going on here and talking to people and get people to tell me about their problems and answer it. And that's kind of my brand. That's who I am. I'm not trying to shout it above other brands or make it look better than other, because I don't really have anybody competing out here doing this in Japan. But if there was, would I do that? I don't know. If another big channel came along and tried to knock me out, would I be upset? Maybe I would. I don't know. So I can't really judge others for trying to secure their brand or be competitive with their brand. When it reaches a level of hate and toxicity, that's where I can say, okay, guys, come on now, right? And the biggest problem with that is sometimes that gets into the realm of drama. Music of the Rain, thank you so much, you rock. That gets into drama that's just, made up BS for the most part. Everything you ever read that you're like, this is really dramatic, take it with a pinch of salt. Don't believe it. Dude, another dollar donation. What's up, dude? Thank you, Devin. Don't take much seriously what you see online. I personally, my philosophy when I read anything online is, unless I see it confirmed like via a legit source, or I see it confirmed by the person actually saying it, like this person did this, and then I talk to them like, did you actually do that? No. All right. But if they're like, yeah, I really did do that, here's the pictures of when I did that, or here's the video, or, let me tell you the story, and it seems pretty legit, then I'm like, okay, maybe this did happen. There's hate videos out there on me on YouTube. That's okay. People are allowed to have their own opinion. I'm all about free speech, and, the only thing is if it reaches a level of defamation, or it reaches a level where that person starts to receive a lot of negativity due to something that was 100% false. Like, so for example, some people might be upset with iDubbbz that he took, what's that girl's name? She said the N-word, and then he took her to town. People didn't jump on him and be like, yo, you're a total jerk, you're an asshole for attacking her. She like, he's not, though. He just called her out on what she did, and we know for sure that's what she did because there was multiple videos of her doing it. And then his big thing with her was that she used the N-word while trying to also be a hypocrite and preach to him how he shouldn't. And the way she was using it was like very, very inflammatory, and the way he was using it was just in the sense of comedy. I'm not justifying either one. Get me straight on that one. But iDubbbz did have a reason for what he did. It was justified. And I can say that that's more so freedom of speech, saying, I do not agree with this, okay? Where it gets bad is where it gets into straight out just like hate, okay? Like, so for example, if you deal with somebody like Leafy just goes after people who he just decides he hates. Or he doesn't decide he hates. Apparently it's a character that he does that kind of makes fun of people. Armando, again, man, you're hitting me up with mad donations today. Killing it, dude. Just killing it. What's better than free speech? $2 speech. All right. I like it. The jokes just keep coming. His stuff were just straight hate-ridden. Everything that he would bring up about people would just be like his own assumption. Look at this idiot. He should go kill himself. That's horrible, dude. All right, like, do you really think he should go kill himself? Like, do you really think, like, he is a horrible person? Especially when he attacked that poor autistic guy. Like, it was very obvious that that guy was doing the best he could with his living situation, with his challenge every day. And he straight up attacked that guy, and that's why he took a lot of bad press, because people were like, yo, look, like, you're attacking a guy for something he can't help. You can't be like, gosh, I really hope I'm not born with autism. That's not fair at all. And Leafy gave this half-ass apology. He knew he was wrong, and it wasn't justified. And that's when you get into, like, trash talking, hate. Now, I'm saying keep comedy hardcore, keep comedy alive. Don't censor people. Don't be an SJW. That stuff's bullshit, okay? But at least if you're going to be mean and you're going to be hateful, do it to be funny, all right? Like, it's just like iDub said. It's like iDub says. He says, don't be a bully and also be a pussy at the same time, okay? If you're going to go and roast people, be ready to be roasted. Anyway, I went on a huge tangent on that one. I don't know if that made any sense at all. More questions related to marriage visa. If I have a marriage visa and an associate's degree but no bachelor's degree, will be no, dude. Just go get that marriage visa. Once you got the spouse visa, a spouse visa overrides any kind of instructor or humanities visa. You're set. You're gonna get a job, bro. You're fine. No problem at all. Definitely shoot for that spouse visa first, though. Don't try to get a humanities or instructor visa. To hate Scott is to hate the universe. Who would hate Scott and why? Okay, maybe because of that cat scary story urban legend he read from Saya. But who could hate Scott? I got my haters. And, quite frankly, sometimes when people have hated on me in the past, I've taken a look at why. And sometimes the reasons are decent criticism. And then sometimes there's just some straight crazy people like... I don't want to say the channel's name, but the guy who thinks I'm a Jewish spy for the Yakuza who lives on welfare in Japan. Those kind of people exist too. And how can I be angry at that kind of stuff? Like, I can't be angry at hate so crazy that it just becomes like a comical fan fiction. Yeah, whatever. All right, let's grab one more question and then end it for the day. What's the last question? Anybody got? Ackerman is Jewish. I'm not Jewish, by the way. Ackerman is a common one. What about Quick Rhino? Quick Rhino's a good guy, dude. I know we had our differences in the past, but Quick Rhino is a legit good guy. Look, I took down all my videos. He took down all his videos. The dude is a straight up man. Like, totally cool dude. Let's see. A Jewish spy for the You could write a book. Yeah, I should. All right, romantic. Do you think that the social norm of cheating on a spouse is because it's taboo to get divorced? Can I answer that one? Because I'm kind of... I recently dealt with somebody who told me a story about this. I'm recently getting like a lot of people asking me about do a lot of people cheat in Japan? And apparently, after living here for 10 years, I can confirm that yes, cheating in Japan is rampant. And it's kind of amazing to me just how rampant it is. Almost 100% of the time it is the man cheating on the woman. I can't say I approve. I can say there are certain situations that I understand. For example, very abusive ones, and some where the poor guy is worked to damn near death. There's other ones where I think the guy is just a huge jerk. Some situations that lead to cheating in Japan, there isn't one answer as to why. One of the big problems is miscommunication or lack of communication between husband and wife. A lot of times marriages in Japan are very businesslike. The man goes to make the money and the woman pays the bills. And I know this is going to sound crazy to us Westerners. After they have kids, they tend to never have sex ever again, and the relationship becomes like almost a brother-sister relationship. And I think I've pretty much answered why cheating happens in Japan, right? I mean, come on, if you are a man and you want to stay married to your wife and you want to stay intimate with your wife, you need to find out damn near everything that woman wants. Women, the same thing goes for you in the bed, okay? Like, I don't understand why Japan does this where they grow apart and grow stale to each other. I realize over time our bodies change, our minds change, our perspectives on life change. But if you start to lose total communication with each other, then you change while going down different paths in life. And that's not how a marriage is supposed to be. Marriages in Japan tend to grow farther apart as they live longer together rather than grow closer together. In America, when that starts to happen, we just get divorced, okay? In Japan, they just continue to grow apart. You're pretty much watching what would happen in America if the people who didn't get divorced just tried to stay together. All right, anything else? I have parents that fight all the time, and I don't know what's going on. What should I do? All right. So first of all, silly divine. Right now, the situation you're dealing with, is there any way you're able to exit this situation? Like, are you still in high school and you need to live with your parents? That's my question for you. Thanks for answering my question, Minticola. Yeah, no problem, Minticola. I sound single? No, dude. I've been married for 10 years. I got 2 kids. I own a house, dude. I've only been married one time too. I've never gotten divorced. I understand the word compromise. That's why I'm still together. Okay. Yeah, custody of kids is very, very different here. High school. Okay, so you got a very difficult situation, Silly Divine. All right, so Silly Divine, you're in high school, so 100% you can't leave the house, most likely. You can't live independently, and you're stuck with 2 parents that are fighting all the time. This is something I've actually seen with my own friends through high school. My parents fought now and again, but they weren't really too vicious. I've seen some, though, where I go over to their house and their parents like fight to the point of blows. Well, my best advice for you is, number one, you're gonna have to push through this. There's just no other way to go about it, unfortunately. You can't just say, "Oh, go push through it, Scott." Yeah. Just try to ignore it. You're not gonna be able to ignore it. I'm not saying that. I say push through it in the sense of literally count down the days until you're gonna be free from this. This is your prison right now, and once you make it through this and you get through to the other side and you live on your own and you're able to find a place for you to stay after high school, of course, you're going to be better for it that you made it through this, okay? You're going to be a very strong person. But for now, the way you can deal with this is, number one, don't ever worry about trying to take sides. I'm sure there's probably a point after your parents fight where they try to make you take sides. Don't ever take sides. Listen. Just listen. Probably one of your parents is going to want to come to you after the fight and be like, "Oh, I can't believe your father did this," or, vice versa. And just listen. And if they're like, "What do you think about that? Like, why do you think your father always does this? Or why do you think your mom always does this? Or can you believe your mom did this?" Try to ask questions that make them be reflective about what they're talking about. Because a lot of time what happens is they get so locked into their own emotion with the fight they just had, they don't even listen to what they're saying. Okay, and this goes for anybody who gets into a fight. Even if you listen to 2 good friends fight, and then one of them comes to you after and is like, "I can't believe what he said." Okay, ask them simple questions that come to your mind, like, "So how did that make you feel when Dad did that?" And then she'll explain it and be like, "Why do you think he did that?" Just keep asking questions that make them dissect their own fights and see what the root of them is because the problem is you're dealing with 2 people who are getting too strung into their own emotions and only seeing their side of things. They're not being introspective enough to ever stop and be like, "Gosh, am I doing something that's pissing him off?" And this can be for multiple reasons. This can be too much stress at work, too much stress at home, money troubles, multiple things. We can't go into that right now or we'll be here forever. For you to be able to deflect the situation, and I know that's probably what you want to do. You want to number one, you don't want to take a side. You want to say, "My mom's always smart, my dad's always smart," or "I love my mom more, I love my dad more." You want to just be like, "Well, I'm the kid. I want to just survive day by day." Just ask them questions that allow them to reflect. That's what they want to do. Number one, they want somebody to listen. If they come to you and talk to you about the fight after, they want someone just to listen. All right. So be the person to listen. Talk almost never. Okay. Talk only when you're asked a question. And even then, when you're asked a question, answer it with a question. Okay. Don't give in to taking sides because that's going to just tear you up inside or, tear one of your parents up inside. And then it's going to make you feel bad after and you'll feel even worse about the fight. There's no way you can escape the whole fighting situation right now. That's up to your parents to deal with and stop doing. They're the adults. They need to take responsibility for what they're doing in the house. If they can't see that, that's their own immaturity at play. Okay? If they want to create that bad environment, I'm really sorry you have to live in it, but that's their damn fault. All right? Never blame yourself for that. Never take any kind of responsibility for what they're fighting about. Even if they try to use you as a pawn in the middle of the fight. That's on them. Okay, so I want you to know that right away. Don't let your own self-esteem be torn down by their fighting. That has nothing to do with you. That is not your problem. But number two, when they do come to you afterwards, number one, they're looking for somebody to listen to. They're looking for a shoulder to cry on. I'm not saying necessarily actually break down and cry. They want someone to listen to their side, but they also want somebody to answer their questions, to agree with them, to say like, oh, yeah, he's always a jerk. Oh, yeah, she's always a jerk. Don't do that. Don't give in to that. Don't play sides. Just let them make them analyze themselves. Force them to take a look at themselves. And you don't need to be aggressive to do that. Be like, well, you're always starting fights, Mom, or you're always starting fights, Dad. Like, you don't need to do that. You don't need to be aggressive, because that'll just trigger them again, and maybe they'll get into a fight with you. Just ask them. So, like, how did that make you feel? Why did you say that to him? Why did he say that to you? Why is he like this today? What's been going on with him recently? How's his job been? Okay, just very simple, like non-aggressive questions that just they're gonna have to slowly answer them, and they're gonna have to slowly be like, well, I don't know, his work's been like really bad recently, and then they'll be like, oh shit, his work has been really bad recently. Maybe that's really stressful for him. Okay, so that's my best advice I can give you. Last bit of advice: as soon as you're able to, GTFO out of there, buddy. I know it sucks. I'm really sorry, man. I wish I could give you more help. These are the times where I wish I could just take like all the money I got from Patreon and just donate it to somebody to get out of their house. This is also like while I'm doing like the kind of Patreon pool. If you can't go to Japan with the thing that I'm setting up right now, a lot of people are like, I really want to go there, but it's not for me. I don't want to go to Japan, but I'm really excited to see this go down, or I really want to support this. If that's you, then just hit one of those small tiers. Just hit up one of those small tiers, donate, and you're helping people achieve the dream. For example, there's that $3 tier that sends in your application faster, puts it to the top of the line. If you're like, yeah, but I don't want to actually go. I just want to like get this program going and watch it play out. Because it's going to play out like a documentary, actually. You're going to see after today, I'm going to actually show the whole area. It's inside this room where people are going to train and stuff. Well, it's not inside this room. It's inside this building. I'm going to show where people are going to train, some of the trainings we're going to do, some of the lessons we're going to learn. If that's something you're excited to see play out, but you're like, I want to help it, but I don't want to go, then just do the Patreon, and you're helping the people that are going. For example, I had one guy, he's like, I really want to go, but my daughter has a severe disability, and like I need all these medications I have to bring over, and it's huge medical expenses to bring her over. And I said, dude, that's why I have people donating right now. Like, first of all, I'm making sure I keep everything almost exactly at cost. Sometimes, depending on what exchange rate they're sending money over with, there's a little bit of money left over. All right? Any bit of money left over, I'm pooling it, and I'm going to make it be used for the people who absolutely can't afford to go at all. And the reason I'm doing that is because I don't think there should be a price on wishes or dreams if they are an experience. Now, if they're a material good, like you want a damn BMW, screw you. Sorry, there's a price on that. That's materialism. Okay, but there should not be a price or a cost limit on our wishes and dreams, and that's something I hope I can share with everybody with this program. That's my goal. That's my focus, and the selfish reasons are because I love the feeling it gives me to help people. I just love that feeling. Like, that's why I'm going high with all this life advice live stuff and this Japan stuff. It just feels good, dude. It just feels good to give something back. For 10 years, I feel like I've been taking views, taking comments, taking subs. Even now, my subs are still growing again, which is amazing. Now it's time to give back. So I hope I can do that. If you are interested, patreon.com/Scott Ackerman. $1 a month will help somebody get over to Japan, or get you all the different tiers there too. I mean, you're going to get all the rewards as well, but it's up to you what you want to donate for. Guys, mod trip to Japan. Get Scott drunk. Okay, guys. I'm going to end it out here. I want to say thank you to all the mods, first off. Thank you for moderating so modestly in such a modistic way. And I want to say thank you to everybody who came out today. If I didn't say hi to you, I'm sorry. Got a lot of names streaming past there really fast. I seriously hope I helped you somewhat with your problems. And if I didn't help and I didn't give you the answer you want, I hope me listening helped. Okay? If you have any problems for the future, feel free to write them in the comments at the end of this video. If you watch this later, write them in the comments. That's okay. We'll try to take them on the next video. Until next time, this has been Life Advice Live. Thank you so much to all. The donations are just like, just insane. Like okay, let me go through. I'm just gonna count this. All right. I am squared 1, Armando 2, Jenny 2, Jilly 2, Armando 2, Devin 5, Jimmy 2, Reinhardt 10, Armando 2, Jenny 2, Devin 2, Devin 2, Jenny 2, Minticola 10, Michelle 10, Squid 5, Armando 2, Purple Rain 5, Music of Rain 5, Devin 1, Armando 2. Dude, I'm blown away, guys. I don't know what to say, man. Like, like I'm seriously like I'm flabbergasted and dumbfounded. I don't have words to express. You're giving me, every time you guys do that, you're giving me a chance to just enjoy being creative and making videos and answering questions, and this is like the best thing in the world to me. I love it. And you're literally like paying for me to live out my dreams when I do this. And another $1 donation by Devin at the end there. Thank you so much. You're the best, man. All right, guys, I better end it here. I love you all so much. Take care of yourselves, you amazing, wonderful people. And I've got a hit.